Hi everyone, Trina here, and this is Origins 8.0. So we are going into substituting power for love, and I will begin. So it says, if a person becomes a rescuer or abnegates her power totally and becomes a victim, then she may develop life strategies in which she seeks power as a substitute for the love she never got. Such a choice only places her further away from the love that she really wants. We must always remember that fear and love are opposite forces. Though the soul wants love, by misusing personal power, a person creates fear in others, driving them away. Fear and judgment contract the energy field, while love and approval expand it. Thus, the original wound, which was the withholding or the absence of love. It causes the person to attempt to feed that inner void in order to stop the pain. While some people might try to anesthetize these feelings with drugs or alcohol, others may try to expel their pain by becoming the bully or taking the attention of others as substitute for the love that they really want. Without meaning. 2, they can continue to perpetuate the same vicious cycle of judgment, control, and abuse that got them into this mess in the first place. Complicated, isn't it? When we look at it like this, we can see how dysfunctional patterns of our ancestors have been passed down from generation to generation. Those who have wounded us were themselves the recipients of the same negative patterns that they inherited from their parents, and on, back through the generations. In truth, any person who is steeped in the misuse of his own power, no matter how rich, charismatic, intelligent, or persuasive they may be, it's there because he has not made a connection to the higher self. Fear and violence versus love. So what are these things that block us from love, that make us believe in bigotry, hate, and separation? When we look around us, it seems that we are constantly being told or being sold the poison pill of fear and violence at every turn. We absorb it from the nightly news. We lap it up in television shows and movies, and imbue it in the form of rantings of religious figures who alternate between preaching love and telling us how we are sinners who will be judged and condemned. We pay millions to professionals, to athletes, to beat one another to a pulp, to make blockbuster movies about psychopaths, and consume bestsellers about serial killers. Each night we are glued to the brutality of the nightly news and live vicariously through the soap opera jealousies, illicit affairs, petty stories of celebrities. We destroy our oceans, torture and exploit our animals, and continue to expand our nuclear facilities, even in the face of deadly earthquakes that could annihilate everything on our planet. In truth, It seems like we are committed to the destruction of everything except for ourselves, including Earth's ecosystem. The average person, burdened with credit cards, house payments, is often so exhausted from the day's run on the hammer wheel that he or she is hardly aware that we are being conditioned to believe that violence, fear, conflict is a normal way of life. This debilitating negative agenda is designed to keep us so out of balance that we never really even stop to ask the question, is there another way to live? Today, many scientists believe that society has hardwired our adrenal glands to continually dose us with shots of adrenaline, cortisol, and other stress-related hormones. These hormones are pumped into the bloodstream and fire up the nervous system to create fight or flight responses. And this we have become so accustomed to. This is the survival mechanism that is connected to the reptilian part of our brain, the most primitive, primal of the three parts of the human brain. These three parts are the reptilian or survival brain, the limbic or emotional brain, and the cerebral or cognitive brain. The reptilian brain is focused on what I call the four, feeding, the four F's: feeding, fighting, fleeting, and fornicating. This primitive brain is designed to help the human body survive in times of danger, but it is not meant to be activated on a daily basis. The fight or flight response stimulates the adrenal glands, creating premature aging and stress. Fear activates this response, quickening our heart rate, rising our blood pressure, sharpening our senses, and giving us those passionate knee-jerk reactions that we have learned to associate with an emotional high. Fear causes us to react from a place of instinctive survival instead of rational thought and deeper reflection. Imagine a caveman running from a dinosaur or a giant, or the energy it takes as we swerve through the traffic in a speeding car, or a crowd full of moviegoers running from a psychopath chasing us with a chainsaw. Yes, we feel alive because our adrenal glands have kicked into gear. When we don't die, we feel this rush. We feel a false rush of victory and a sense of empowerment. When the adrenaline wears off, our bodies are flooded with feel-good endorphins, thanks to the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms us down, grounds us out, and smooths out our anxiety. But after a while, we get bored again. Then we sniff out another source of drama and upheaval, and we repeat this cycle all over again. Can we break this cycle of conflict, fear, and false empowerment? How can we rewire our nervous system so that we can ease ourselves off the chemical high that keeps us trapped in this continual loop? Is it possible to wean ourselves off the violence, brutality, and conflict that seems epidemic in the world and learn to seek excitement through healthy means? In recent years, researchers have found that the power of our beliefs, our emotions, and our thoughts has a great bearing on the outcome of our life. In the early 1990s, biologist Bruce Lipton became involved in the study of epigenetics, a new science focused on studying the effects of our environment at the cellular level. What he has discovered is that cells respond to our environment in one or two ways. They either stay open, which promotes growth and the exchange of life producing nutrition in the body and brain, or they perceive danger and close down and go into a protective mode. We can liken this to the two forces of love and fear. One allows us to feel safe and open, while the other throws us into fear-based survival of the reptilian brain. The choice of how the cells respond is controlled by the brain, and what we see and feel about our lives is sending a series of signals to the body, which triggers a series of chemical and mechanical switches found in our genetics. This means that when we perceive our environment as safe, we naturally relax, allowing growth and stability. However, if we perceive our environment as to be dangerous, stressful, or unsafe, then all the cells close down to protect themselves. Lipton explains the science behind this discovery, which has profound implications for the understanding of the effects of the environmental stress and the negative programming on a person's health. Our new understanding of the universe's mechanics shows how the physical body can be affected by the immaterial mind. Thoughts, the mind's energy, directly influence how the physical brain controls the body's physiology. Thought energy can activate or inhibit the cell's function, producing proteins via the mechanics of the constructive and destructive interference. That is why I actively monitor where I was expending my brain's energy. I had to examine the consequence of energy that I invested in my thoughts as closely as I examined the expenditures of energy I used to power my physical body. Lipton goes on to talk about how our positive and negative beliefs not only impact our bodies, but every aspect of our life. My point is that you can choose what you see. You can filter your life with rose-colored beliefs that will help your body grow, or you can use a dark filter that turns everything black and makes your body and mind more susceptible to disease. You can live in a life of fear or live in a life of love. You do have the choice, but I can tell you that if you choose to see a world full of love, your body will respond by growing in health. Choose to believe that you live in a dark world full of fear, and your body's health will be compromised. As you physiologically close yourself down in a protective response. Learning how to harness your mind to promote growth is the secret of life, and this is so true, because what you think about, you will bring about. It goes into the vibration of your being. So think positively as often as you can, because it's truly the best medicine you can ever give to yourself and others around you, because you're sending that vibration out to the world. So, learning how to harness your mind to promote growth is the secret of life, which is why I called the book The Biology of Belief. Of course, the secret of life is not a secret at all. Teachers like Buddha and Jesus have been telling us the same story for a millennia. Now science is pointing to the same direction. It is not our genes, but it is our belief that truly controls our life. In the similar vein, the HeartMath Institute has discovered that positive and negative emotions that we think and feel can actually program our DNA. In other words, our feelings activate genetic codes that are stored within human amino acids. There are 64 possible combinations of these amino acids, but only 20 of them are ever activated at any one time. Fear is a long wave pattern that contracts the DNA, giving us little access to our genetic potential or spiritual gifts. Love, on the other hand, has a short wave pattern, and it relaxes the DNA, producing a high vibrating frequency that allows us to activate more of our God-like potentials. Thus, the emotion of fear that society seems bathed in actually blocks our spiritual potential, dumbing us down and making us that much easier to control. In recent years, there have been a handful of Russian scientists who have also been studying the connection between our consciousness, the quantum field, and its effects upon our DNA. Russian biophysicist and molecular biologist Pyotr Garjaev, do not even ask me to pronounce that one, and his colleagues do not believe that our DNA is 90% junk, but instead is a quantum mechanical biowave computer. Bingo. It's exactly what it is. So, the research explains on how much and how such a phenomena as clairvoyance, intuition, remote healing, positive affirmations, and the power of the mind to influence whether patterns can exist. They have discovered that our human DNA creates wormhole patterns that can allow information to be transmitted outside of time and space. These tiny wormholes are the microscopic equivalents of the Einstein-Rosen bridge, known in astronomy. Wow. It is also called a black hole. Their research shows that our DNA attracts bits of information from the universe and passes them on to our consciousness. They have also found evidence to explain the phenomena of auras, sometimes seen around spiritual masters like Jesus and Buddha. Along this same line is the DNA research of Russian scientist Vladimir Poponin. Poponin placed human tissue into a vacuum tube and beamed a photonic laser light through it. Once the human DNA was inside the tube, he found that the light realigned itself along the axis of the DNA, revealing that our DNA has the power to entrain the light of the universe. Oddly enough, when the scientist removed the human tissue from the vacuum tube, the photons of laser light continued spiraling on their own and remained in the same helical pattern for 24 hours. He calls this the phantom DNA effect. What this reveals is that the light of the universe attrains along the structure of DNA, charging it with the energy of the universe. In practical terms, this means that through the power of our words, beliefs, thoughts, and feelings, we can create our own reality. Wow. Science is actually validating that we are creators. That is profound, beautiful. Since the entire cosmos is made up of light, stemming from the billions of suns that glitter against the night sky, the presence of light is everywhere. Dr. Popanov's study reveals how the thoughts and emotions we store in our DNA can actually change our world. By understanding that the vibration of love, it has the power to open us up to the growth and to activate our genetic potentials. Then we know that it is love and not fear that will allow us to create long-lasting peace within, and then that shall reflect without. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, we will pick up on love and power on the next one. And I love you guys all so very much. And I think this was a profound part of this book, and I resonate with all of this information. And it's what I believe to be true. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope it resonates with you. And may soul be with us all. And may we be able to be the frequency we want to receive, as Milky Way states, and hold our vibrations in the highest caliber of frequency that we possibly can. And remember, as the world crashes in all around you, sometimes it does do that. And when it does, stop, take a deep breath, and know sometimes we can't control what's happening around us. But by choosing to control the way you react to it, will have a massively profound effect upon the world. Because if you can understand that everything that we're experiencing, we might have signed up for, and instead of reacting, get curious, dig deep, say, why could I possibly wanted to experience or witness or observe this challenge that's in my life? What could it be teaching me and the others involved? Try to see it from a bigger place. And through that, you might see a bigger truth. And through that bigger truth, the challenge now becomes just a hurdle, something you're going to jump and climb over and be better for it when it's finished. So I love you all. Much love and growth, favor, joy, prosperity, and much soul and much love being expressed through each and every one of us. I love you all very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.